Picture the queue at 8:17 Monday morning. One alert says a user had failed logins. Another says the same user signed in from a new country. Email logs show a new mailbox forwarding rule. A cloud app shows payroll data was opened. Alone, each event looks small. Together, they tell a clear story. Possible account takeover. That is the job of SIEM correlation rules. They connect weak signals across systems and time, so the SOC sees one case instead of 5 loose threads. A SIEM correlation rule is a detection rule that links related events and creates an alert when the pattern matters. Plain English, it says, if these things happen to the same user, host, IP, application, or account within this time window, raise one security alert. A SIEM collects audit events and security logs from many systems. In MIST-style framing, those records support monitoring, detection, and response. Correlation is the logic that makes the records useful. It is not just searching for one bad line in a log. It is joining many normal-looking lines into a sequence that means something to defenders. Life before correlation is painful. A firewall logs a connection. An identity system logs a sign-in. Email logs a rule change. An endpoint logs a process. Each tool sees its own slice. Analysts have to manually ask, is this the same user, the same device, the same session, the same hour? That burns time. Worse, single events are often noise. One failed login is normal. One new location may be travel. One mailbox rule might be business workflow. Patterns are the signal. Correlation rules reduce the manual stitching. They put related evidence in one place and give the analyst a starting point for a decision. Mechanically, SIEM correlation rules usually work in 5 steps. First, logs are parsed into common fields like user, source IP, device, action, result, and time. Second, the SIEM enriches them with context, department, asset owner, device type, risk level, and location. Third, the rule groups events by a key, such as username or host. Fourth, it applies logic. Thresholds count how many times something happened. Sequences check order, like failures followed by success. Joins connect different sources, like identity plus email plus cloud app. Fifth, the rule creates an alert with evidence, severity, and recommended triage steps. Here is a real SOC-style walkthrough, anonymized. At 7:42, an identity source reports 22 failed sign-ins for one finance user. At 7:46, the same account succeeds from a country not seen for that user before. At 7:48, email logs show a new inbox rule that forwards selected messages externally. At 7:52, a business app logs access to payroll records. At 7:55, endpoint telemetry shows the user's normal workstation is still in the office network, active locally. A good correlation rule joins those facts by identity and time. The SIEM raises one account takeover incident, with a timeline already built. Correlation is strong when the attack story crosses tools. It is good at finding patterns a single product would miss. It also helps analysts move faster because the alert contains supporting evidence. But it has limits. If a source is not sending logs, the SIEM cannot correlate it. If clocks are wrong, sequences break. If field names are messy, joins fail. A correlation rule does not contain an incident by itself. It tells the team where to look and why. False positives often come from bad context, wrong user location, stale asset owners, shared accounts, service accounts, or unmanaged devices labeled as normal laptops. The SIEM sits near the center of the defensive stack. Identity systems explain who signed in. Endpoint tools explain what happened on the device. Email security explains message and mailbox activity. Cloud logs explain application and admin actions. Network sensors add traffic context. The SIEM pulls those views together. UEBA, User and Entity Behavior Analytics, often supports correlation by adding baselines. What is normal for this user, device, or service account? SAR can take the next step by opening tickets or triggering approved response actions. The SIEM correlation rule is the detection brain that says these separate facts belong in one case. Start simple. Do not write 100 rules on day one. First, make sure the core sources are reliable: identity, endpoint, email, cloud admin, and key business apps. Then fix the context. Know which accounts are executives, admins, service accounts, contractors, and shared mailboxes. Know which assets are servers, workstations, domain controllers, and crown jewel systems. Build a small set of rules around common defender questions: suspicious sign-in, risky admin change, malware plus network contact, impossible travel plus mailbox change, privileged access to sensitive data. Learn the SIEM query language, basic data modeling, time windows, and how to tune with real analyst feedback. 3 beats to remember. First, SIEM correlation rules are not magic keywords. They are logic that connects events across systems and time. Second, single events are often noise, but thresholds, sequences, and joins turn patterns into signal. Third, context makes or breaks the rule. Bad identity data, stale asset data, and missing log sources create false positives and blind spots. If you run a SOC, invest in clean data before fancy detections. If you are learning, practice building one clear timeline from 5 log sources. Subscribe for a new episode daily, plus the daily ranked CVE brief on this channel.